Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Matt the Man here. So we got some surprising news last week. Yes, Bryan Fuller. Some people might recognize the name Bryan Fuller. He was the guy behind the Hannibal TV series on, I want to say NBC. It ran for 3 seasons with Mads Mikkelsen. Very good show. I was surprised how good that was and how violent it ended being on regular cable TV. And then how can they do a Hannibal Lecter show on, regular TV programming? It's not even like an HBO or Stars or, a Hulu or something where they can probably get away with more violence and R-rated material. But no, NBC really brought, I would say there were some episodes that were even worse than what we saw in the movies, like Silence of the Lambs, or Hannibal, or Red Dragon. But, Mads Mikkelsen played a great Hannibal Lecter. Also something that people were worried, like, Hannibal Lecter is Anthony Hopkins. There's no one that can do a better job than him. But Mads Mikkelsen did a great job. So Bryan Fuller has been brought on to remake the Stephen King classic, Christine. The original came out in 1986 by John Carpenter. I remember that movie very fondly. When my brother was in his little Stephen King mode. And for some reason he made my parents buy all the books. Never read them. He must have had 50 Stephen King books. But he would watch the movies. So, buy a book, rent a movie. That's how it went. So, being that my brother would rent the movies at Blockbuster, guess who had the glorious opportunity to sit down at a very, very, very young age and scare the shit out of me. Yep. I watched a lot of Stephen King movies that were adapted from his books into film when I was younger, and Christine was definitely one of those movies. I think also because my father had a 57 Chevy in the garage, and since the car in the movie is a Chevy, I don't know what year, it definitely has some, connection there. I always enjoyed the first movie, the original. I thought it was good. And in fact, about a couple of years ago, I watched when it was in October, they had Christine on AMC. And I remember watching it, because I haven't seen it in a while. I said, you know what? This movie would be great as a remake. You can't say that about every movie, but I said, this movie's fine for a remake. Not because of the CGI or effects are outdated, because it's in our world today where our technology is growing. We have phones and even stuff in our cars that can, you can have a GPS in your car, you can have, a Siri in your car, you can, they're starting to have cars that can drive themselves, practically. You have cars that can, you have little frame, little computer screen in your car that can let you know when you back out if you're going to hit anything or not. And I said, imagine making Christine now with today's technology and the cars today, and people so worried about, computers taking over or AI taking over. You can make a Christine movie where a car, a modern day, you can either do it in one or two ways. Take a modern day car of today with the bells and whistles, with all the technology in the car, and have that car turn on the driver, and have a mind of its own, just like AI would. Or, even cooler, set it in the present day, but have the car be an old car, just with the newer technology in the car. So take like a Chevy, 57 Chevy. let's say, and put a GPS and, all the bells and whistles. But now, at one point, the car turns on the driver and has its own, thinking process. That would be very interesting in today's world. And you're still have the same story, you have a nerdy guy, wants the car, gets the car, tries to impress the girl, thinks he's a hot shot, realizing the car has a mind of its own and uses that to his advantage to get the girl, to get revenge on the bullies that bully him, and then of course the tragic what happens by the end of the movie. So I don't know what direction. I think they're gonna go modern day. I hope. I don't think they would go back to I heard it maybe be set in the 80s, maybe like the original. I would rather than be in the modern day, but have a character that likes old cars and wants to, update a classic car and put that in the car and, go from there. It'll be interesting who they cast in the movie. I have no idea. That's, we'll see. But, yeah, Christine is being remade. And I think this is a great choice with Bryan Fuller, with what he did with Hannibal. And we'll see what he does with the new version of Christine. Once again, like and subscribe to Attack Matt Productions. It will help me out, it will help the channel out, help my friend out. It also helps, the more subscribers, eventually we could see a little, no, not more dumb. This isn't Home Alone 2. This, more money. So yeah, like and subscribe. If you like seeing me, who doesn't? And that's all.